Hi, y'all. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. This is A Life Well Spent. My name is Kelly, and on this channel, I document my financial journey. And this week, we are wrapping up the first week of November and going through my spending and transactions for the week. Now, I do a weekly transaction log and I try to keep track of my spending because, and those of you who've been here know this, they've heard this version, but if you have not heard it before, I'll do it very quickly. I used to keep track of things that I really struggled with staying on top of in cash, right? I just paid for them in cash, categories that I found myself overspending in a lot. And that actually worked really well. It's really easy to figure out how much money you've spent when you know how much you started with and can, do the math and see how much you have left. Um, anyway, once COVID hit, I stopped using cash. I was doing a lot more things like ordering and picking up and, stuff like that. So I had a much worse sense of how much money I was spending, and I was getting to, like, maybe the end of the month and realizing that I had overspent in categories and and really, kind of blew my budget. And not to say that that doesn't happen at times, but I'd rather make a conscious effort, like, and or make a conscious decision and, like, know that I'm, really butting up to the end of my, um, you know, restaurant budget, let's say, and saying, "You know what? I have this opportunity to go out to eat. I really want to take it. I know that I'm going to be going over budget. Maybe that'll, let me try to, adjust another category somewhere so that I can make space for this and not really blow the whole month." And just it's better for me mentally to do that, and that rather than get to the end of the month and think, "Oh my god, I didn't realize, like, I didn't realize I was going this much over. I wish I'd known that. I wouldn't have gone out that one time," or whatever. So that's where I'm at now. The easiest way for me to do that was to just take time at the end of every week. Today is Friday, November 8th, so this is basically all of the transactions that I would have had in the first week of the month. So we will get right into it. Another thing I probably should mention, that I start every month with a month's worth of income. So, like, my zero is a full month's worth of income, or a typical month. There's 2, 3 pay months. I just budget off of as the way we're getting paid 2 incomes. But anyway, well, that's not true. I will budget for the third income. I just mean based on, like, what I leave in my account. I just act like I'm not, like, I'm just getting a bonus basically. Um, so with that in mind, I also set up all of my bills and all of my money transfers so that everything that has to be done gets done in the first week. And after that, it's just kind of my money to do with what I like. And I prefer it that way. It's just like, then there's only really one week that I have to worry about, like, making sure all the bills get paid. And by now, they have all been paid. So I'm like, all right, clear sailing. From now, it's just a matter of, if I spend something on a credit card, I make sure I pay that credit card off. Um, for gas or groceries or whatever. So with that in mind, first paycheck, this is a 3 pay month for me in November. So the first paycheck came on the first of the month. It was $1,890.75. That's what the second check will look like. The third is going to look slightly different because the school that I work for does not, I don't know, maybe no schools do. Any contributions you make to any kind of tax advantaged anything, so a 403B, a 457, or an HSA, in my case, it's an HSA, um, they only take those out of the first 2 pays. They don't take it out of the third pay in those months. So, like, I get some of that money back, but then also I can't just add it straight in because it's all tax sheltered money. So when I have to pay taxes on the money. I don't have to pay it when I put it into the HSA, but I do have to pay it if it goes into my pocket. So it's always hard to kind of gauge how much money of that I'm going to end up getting. So a little bit of it I do, I think $181. So I might maybe get like 130 of it, maybe $100 of it. I don't know. Like, We'll see. And it's always different. I can't even go back to, like, the last 3 pay month I had because the last 3 pay month I had was, I think, May or June. Yeah, probably May because I think they're 6 months apart. So, I think it was in May, and that was on a different contract. So, we got raises starting in July 1, and so, like, this is the first 3 pay month, but even the next 3 pay month, I can't gauge it that by that either because the taxes will have changed, in January. So, like, it's just always kind of I'm surprised when I get it, I guess. I don't know. All right, $41.85 to the Y. That is, the gym I go to, and really, I'm paying for a pool because while Planet Fitness would be cheaper, they don't have pools, and I swim for my cardio, some of my cardio. Mortgage 648.67. I did find out that my payment is gonna go down like a dollar starting in, I think, January because the PMI has now dropped off and, like, I don't know, I have to read it again. It said something like there was a certain number of overage in my account, and now that we're dropping PMI, like, I don't even know, but I'm sitting here going, "It's a like, fine, I'll take the dollar," but like, oh my god, alright. I'm wondering if they maybe did adjust and then calculated and realized, "Oops, we adjusted too far, and now there's gonna be a shortage," or well, actually, I thought they first said a shortage, so I expected to have to pay more, and then they told me my payment was gonna be like 647.25 or something like that, and I was like, "But that's less. Don't I have a shortage? I don't understand what's happening." Whatever. Gas, I did not have to pay it this month because I accidentally paid it in October. I think Echo just my Echo Dot just thought I was talking to him for some reason. All right, garbage, $42. I pay garbage out quarterly. It's a garbage month in November. Sewer, $63. That's a flat rate. Water, 18.97. That's not really a flat rate. That's a minimum usage, but only a few months out of the year do I really go beyond that. So I just kind of treat it like a flat rate. Electric, $49.75. Internet flat rate, $58. Fidelity, I sent my Roth IRA, $500 to my Roth IRA. I put $70.83 in my brokerage account, and I put $100 in my niece's brokerage account. That's $50 comes from my mother. Actually, it's one of the transactions of hers below. I put 50 in, she puts 50 in, but she gives me the 50 and I put the 100 in altogether. Um, okay, so I joined another credit union that had kind of a savings challenge. And if you did $100 a month, you would get $100 at the end of 12 months. Plus, it's like a 3.5% or something like that. So I was like, "Psh, I'll do that for a free $100." So that's what that is. I basically just consider that money like money that's gone into my emergency fund. It's just in a different place. All right. So $20 from my mom. That is her share of our shared subscriptions. And like there's some things that we're able to share still. So that's gonna change moving forward. We're not sure. I'm not sure what we're gonna do, but it is what it is. All right. $50. That's for my niece's brokerage account. $35. That is for her portion of the cell phone because we kind of went over a bit this month. She did some travel, I did some traveling around, and yeah, it's life at times. So, anyway, that's one of the things that she pays me for as well. $17 into my Nittany Lion Club sinking account. I put 17 aside every month because it pays out in January, and then I just kind of put it back in. This is one of my automatic transfers that I consider a must pay account. So there's that. Subscriptions is $155. Um, Really, it's 120 from me and the 30 or well, 100 and sorry, 35 from me and the 20 from my mom. So, but I'm moving the money, so I know that like the money has been moved into there. So technically I've counted it here as though she's given it to me and then I've moved it basically. Um, that's moving forward. I think I have more than enough for next year. We got rid of a lot of our streaming services. These aren't subscriptions, were also things like I do like a password generator and password protector. I have a VPN. I did have a subscription service on my cameras, but I just canceled it. It'll be, have the cloud service basically until January, but I just don't feel like paying for it anymore. And if I feel for my security and my safety that I need to, um, then I will go to a different system. That's just, I'm not giving Amazon any more money than they're already getting. So yeah, that subscriptions really is way more than it needs to be. There's more in there than needs to be, and there's more that goes in there. And I will make that change next year. I'm going to kind of reevaluate and recalculate now that we've canceled everything. And because I paid for everything that I did subscription wise, like I would just pay for the whole year because it was cheaper and what have you. And so I was kind of like, oh, like, I don't really know how much I would need now total. So, anyway, it's kinda hard to kinda gauge based on, like, what was in the account and, all of that. But anyway, I've canceled every single streaming service so far, except Apple TV. And I'll probably cancel Apple TV when it comes to May. It comes around in May. But I also have, I have fitness apps and things like that that I do stuff with, so it's not all, like, just streaming and entertainment. We got rid of a lot of those. Let me see here. So, yes, $20 for my mom, car insurance, $59. That's another one of my must pays. Um, actually, that's wrong. That should be 135. I just realized that. All right. So Apple, this is one of my subscriptions. It's an iCloud account. There's one for 99 cents that is my mother's that comes in at the end of the month. And I don't really know how we're on a family share plan, so I don't really know how she ended up, I don't know. But whatever, it's $1 a month. I'm not really that worried about it. But I just comes out of her 20 that she gives me anyway. Um, Xfinity Mobile 7178. That was my cell phone. I put $20 aside for my trip to the Bahamas. Um, I have a couple of basically I'm going to do $20 a week, and ooh, I need to put the other date on that one. So, what is that? 24? Not 34, 24. And just as, life goes through, I have it set up, and then I'll just put the amount in. Pretty much goes out every Sunday. And no, that's not the final transfer. Anywho, I still need one more before we go. Ooh, Sam's Club. Okay, went to Sam's Club. I got gas because I was down to about a quarter of a tank. So I was there for food, so I thought I'll just get gas here as well. Stopped by the one little farm. I call it a farmer's market. I can't ever think of the name of it. But it's kind of like a farmer's market. Not an open air, but like an actual building, but $32.58. I spent $34.06 at Sam's on those were both groceries. Norwegian, I spent $49 on Norwegian. I purchased an excursion. And then so I bought a Chase applied for a Chase Sapphire reserve card. And I told my mom because we have to spend $3,000 to get a bunch of these travel rewards or whatever. And I was like, oh, $3,000 in 3 months. Like, I don't really spend a ton of money like that. I mean, the bulk of the money I spend is like utilities, which for some I could put on my card. And that's how I ended up accidentally paying for my gas bill last month. But for the most part, I was like, oh man, I think I'm really going to be struggling. And then I remembered the trip and I was like, wait a minute. I'll put everything that I can from the trip on this, and that way, we'll get closer and closer and closer. And so my mom wanted to get some clothes, and she was getting a new set of luggage that was kind of lightweight and just a little bit easier for her to maneuver with as she gets older. Because the stuff she had was very old, and it was kind of falling apart, and it was really heavy and clunky. And so we just kind of bit the bullet and went, let's get new stuff. So she did, and I was like, I'm paying for it. She paid me back. There's transactions from her now. There's a lot of them in here, but I was like, let me pay it. Let me pay it so we can get to that 3,000. So we did, and so that was her, like, clothing, 160, and then at Samsonite, we spent, 454.08. I didn't really treat, but I paid when my mom and my friend who's also going on this trip with us, we went out to eat, and I was like, "Oh, you guys just pay me." So it was 122.34 for the actual dinner. 40 of that was my mother's, 43 of that was my friend's, um, and the rest was on me. So I actually, like, I kind of did something where, like, I didn't want to lose track of how much the thing actually cost, but I didn't want my restaurant budget to look like I went over with this purchase because like, I might have, but it's like, because of like $40 from me, not because of, them. So anyway, so that's kind of why I did it this way in my budget. So I kind of put them both in as, like, hers is in here twice. Like, once is in as miscellaneous extra income because she gave it to me, and then once is in as restaurant so that it cut it down. Um, so yeah, that's what all of that nonsense is. 654.08 is my mother paying me back for the things she bought. And the other $20, I forget, there was $20 in there for something. Oh, it was 200. Hello. It was the food and the stuff. So she gave me all of that. That was for that day. Yeah, I can add. All right. And then let me see. That should be positive. Oh, no. So I put another entry in here, because I have a mom stuff thing, and I keep track of that's basically the easiest way for me to keep track of, like, things that I, like, bought her and she owes me. It's just easiest to calculate it that way. And then I decided to get trip insurance, for me and my mom, and my mom's is 39 and mine, it was each 39. Because I just decided I think I felt safer, like, being able to, if something happens, we can't get to the ship or whatever, and just kinda being able to rebook and stuff like that. So I bought it. That's that. I bought a swimsuit top. Well, it's more like a sun shirt that I can wear as a swimsuit top, for from LL Bean. It was on sale. Hallelujah. And I just got it to kind of wear down there. I just don't want to. I have one already that I use a lot and I love it, but the downside is it takes a while to dry. And I thought, if I'm, like, swimming with this thing one day and, like, it might still be wet the second day, and I think I would just rather have a second one that I can, trade off with and go from there. Bought some cruise stuff at Walmart for 45.91. Um, I bought this really great thing for a friend's birthday. It was $89. My friend is going to reimburse me for half of it because we're giving it to a third friend. It's this really cool map, and the friend in question loves to travel, and it's a map that's got her name on it. It says, like, dreams or something like that, I don't know. And it's from Wendy Gould, that's the company. And it's like a map of the world, and she can put a bunch of, like, push pins in, like, places that she's visited and things like that. So it looks really cool. Her birthday is she's turning 30, this friend, in a couple of weeks, so we got that for her. All right. Then I bought something at REI that I'm actually gonna be returning. It's way bigger than it needs to be. I just don't know when I'm gonna return it. Because I'm sort of hemming and hawing about, like, I mean, I could probably find a use for it. Could probably put it in my car. I have others in my car. Maybe I'll gift it to my mother. I don't know. I feel like I could find a use for it, but also part of me is like, okay, but you don't actually need it, so send it back. I thought I was getting a travel size blanket, and, like, the things are supposed to be, like, the size of, like, a water bottle, right? And it came and it was huge. And I was like, this is not what I thought I was getting. Where did I go wrong? I did not order the right one. That's where I went wrong. So I then ordered the correct one today. So that'll be on next week's transaction. So I'm just trying to decide, really, at this point, like, could I find a use for it? Yeah, probably. Do I need it? No, not really. But also, it's so pretty, I want it. Who knows? I will probably return it because I don't need to spend the money. I have to remind myself that that $104.94, if I were to take that money and invest it in an index fund in 20 years, is gonna be way more than that blanket was ever worth. Um, and then some. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. Spent $25.12 at Target because my case, oh, I threw it out already. Ah, my phone case. It's the same case that I had on my phone when I first bought it, and my phone is, let me see, probably every bit of 6 years old. I think I probably bought my phone right around the time that my dad fell down the stairs and broke his neck, and that was about it was about 6 years ago. He's been dead 2 years, and he fell and was paralyzed for almost 4 years. So he fell at some point in November, like, oh, actually, we're getting really close to the anniversary, I think, of when he fell. Um, and he died in September. So, like, had he made it to November, that would have been 4 years of being paralyzed, and so, yeah, we're about 6 years, and I bought it, I think, around the time he fell. Shortly after, I think, because we were switching phones and stuff like that around, and so 5 years minimum, maybe 6. Um, and so, because 'cause I'm honestly trying to remember, like, did I do it while he was still in the hospital? Did I do it, like, while he was out of the hospital? I don't know. So, um, I just remember kinda changing everything around, like, we didn't really need his phone anymore, and we knew we weren't going to, and so my mom was like, "Well, I don't need to keep paying for this," and we ended up, she ended up switching. And I switched before her, and I just added her to my plan, and so I honestly I don't know. I should probably look it up. But anyway, 5-ish, 6-ish years, and yeah, it lasted a long time and has now gotten to the point where, like, it was actually, like, breaking pieces of it were, like, breaking apart, breaking off, and, like, cutting my hands. I have a slice on my hand from the phone case, so I was like, "Yeah, I think it's probably time to get a new one of these." It's fine. It for a while I'm gonna actually get really close to the camera, sorry about that. This is my phone, and it for a while, the case, like, broke all the way along this line, and I could, like, pull it out and separate it from my phone, and then finally, like, it started chipping down in the corner. And so I was like, "Alright, it's officially time to get a new one." And I also This this screen protector is so unbelievably cracked. The screen itself is fine, it's the screen protector that's wrecked, so I got a new one of those. I really struggled and hemmed and hawed because I thought, well, like, maybe I should just get a new phone and, like, just do that, and then when I get a new phone, like, all the phones are different sizes, so I'm just gonna have to get new ones again, and then, I've decided I'm gonna try to, like, get this baby to go for as long as it can go, and if that means, another year or 2, great. I don't know. It's definitely getting to the point where its battery is not really lasting all that long, though, but the actual, like, chipping away of it was the thing that did it to me. I was like, "Oh, this I can't keep doing. This is ridiculous." So, that's what I bought at Target. Ay, ay, ay. Spent $53.89 for dinner. For trivia, my mom is gonna reimburse me her half. She has not yet. That's all right. And then I had a $95 annual fee for the Chase credit card, which I actually went to try to pay off everything from my Chase card, and I was like, "Why is my math not mathing? I don't understand." And then I, like, went through the individual transactions. I just missed it because 'cause I'd made so many transactions. I missed the one that said the annual fee. Oopsie. Um, I typically am not a fan of, like, having cards that have annual fees, but, um, this one actually has already paid for itself. This card, I booked a hotel and I got a $50 credit. I booked a hotel room for, when we got back from our cruise through the Chase travel portal, and they credited me the hotel stay. It was $279. And in fact, I looked at it and like it got credited back, and I was like, "Uh-oh, did it get canceled? Like I got no cancellation notice. Like what is going on?" And then I realized when I looked at the fine print, usually it's the fancy like $500 card that gives you the $300, but there was like a special promotion at the time I signed up to give me a $300 credit for a hotel stay, and so I was like, "Oh, I didn't realize that." So basically, I paid $95. I got a $50 credit on a hotel stay, and I got a free $279 hotel. So I was like, "Yeah, that's cool. That paid for itself, right? Very cool." So, with that in mind, like I have to actually adjust what my mom and I she owed me or she paid me $139 something like that for that stay, and I was like, "Well, now you don't owe me that anymore." So I think we'll just split the Chase yearly fee. I'm trying to decide if it's rain or wind, but something's going on outside. Yeah, that's that. That is my spending for week 1. It's a little nuts because I'm buying stuff that, for my cruise and my trip and all that kind of stuff. So that will sometimes happen, but I also, and I don't think I did this. I don't think I realized this. I think I didn't make any changes to my budget without realizing that like it's the holidays. So good for me. Probably gonna go over that one. But yeah, anyway, it's the first week of November for you. I have this Shutterfly thing down here because I'm making a Christmas gift. I'm gonna buy it from Shutterfly. I expected it to be done by now, but I'm waiting on pictures from other people who have not sent them to me yet. And I just realized I have once again. She was like, "Oh my God, send them. I'll remember when I get home. Send me a text." And I sent her a text, but she did not send me the pictures. Anyway, it's my niece when she came to visit, and we got to see her quite a bit this year, and so I'm just making a photo book basically of like the memories of everything that we did. But I intended on having it finished by now, which was why I had it in there as an entry, and I just keep like bumping it down. I bump it down again because I just bought something from Cabela's. But anyway, if you are still here, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below, what is it that you do to keep track of your spending? Are you kind of weekly? Do you do it every couple of weeks? Do you track every day and kind of look every day? I feel like it's very easy to get pretty obsessive about it. So that might be good for some people and, very much not good for others, but leave a comment down below. Let me know what you do. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you later. Bye. Another thing.